Donald Trump has cancelled tariffs due to be imposed on some European nations after an apparent deal for the future of Greenland. Here's the latest from Sky News UK.
Donald Trump came to Davos threatening to claim Greenland by any means necessary. 7 hours after he arrived, he claimed to have struck a deal over the future of the territory, taking tariffs and military action off the table.
It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals and everything else.
He began with a familiar takedown of the continent and its economies.
Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way, in a very negative way. And I love Europe, and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction.
Let's bring in Australia's longest-serving Foreign Minister, Alexander Downer, joining us live from Hobart. Good to talk to you again, Alexander. Now, Donald Trump is unorthodox, he's abrasive, but he gets the deal done. We don't know the details, but he's saying when it comes to the minerals in Greenland and the security of that island, a deal long-term, a permanent deal has been done.
Well, I always said the United States wouldn't actually send the military in and occupy Greenland. And I doubted very much whether the 10% tariffs on those European nations would go ahead. But honestly, the media and social democratic governments around the world, left of centre governments, always fall for the Trump trick. He makes statements. He makes statements which are a massive exaggeration of what will actually happen because he wants a deal of sorts. And he ends up by getting a deal. And in this case, Greenland is strategically important. And so what he's done is persuade NATO to up their effort in Greenland, including America's effort. And everybody will be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, the outcome should be great for everyone. Obviously good for America, but obviously exceptionally good for NATO as well. What I like about this particular move too is that Donald Trump is not sitting back there in the Oval Office shooting off at them. He's gone over to Davos, he's eyeballed them all and told them exactly what he thinks.
Right. He's courage personified, Donald Trump, even
Yes.
though there are times when I don't like what he says, I'll be honest with you. And I think his tactics are often very abrasive and slightly outrageous. But honestly, you couldn't say the man lacked courage. He goes to Davos. He must be the most hated person in Davos, way beyond President Putin and Xi Jinping in terms of the animosity. And he goes over there and he makes a speech, criticizes the Europeans in a justified way, frankly, because their economies are flatlining or in some cases in recession. So, yeah, he's not afraid to confront his foes.
They talk about Davos man. He's kind of the antithesis of Davos man, but he turned up there. Here's a little bit of what he said to the crowd.
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
There we are, Donald Trump. We'll wait and hear more details about this permanent deal when it comes to Greenland security and its critical minerals. But before I let you go, Alexander, I've got to get your thoughts on Australian politics. I just don't understand how when this government and this country are in so much trauma at the moment, somehow the coalition have conspired to make themselves the issue.
It's disgraceful. And I think in particular, my ire is directed at David Littleproud for taking the National Party out of the coalition, presumably because he has a plan that will bring down Susan Lee. I think it is a terrible way to behave. They must behave more responsibly. The public are, the public are not welded on to the Labour Party, but they're just exasperated by the coalition at the moment. I just know that from talking to people in Melbourne yesterday. People were just fed up with the coalition, or coalition parties, the non-coalition now. But for the National Party to have walked away from the Liberal Party in that way, it's disgraceful. And it won't be readily forgotten. They have to get back together again, put together a coherent philosophy, argue for coherent policies and policy reform, and get on with holding the Labour Party, as they like to say, to account, and ensure that we get government.
Spot on, Alexander. Look forward to catching up with you again next week.